Happy Dot Day! Today we are going to do a lesson inspired by Peter Reynolds' book, The Dot. We're going to get to make our own dots using one dark marker, one crayon, any color, a paper or paper plate, and some circular objects to trace. So first you're going to take your paper or your paper plate. You can use either or. Some people like a plate because it's already circular. But if you don't have that, you can just use a piece of paper. And then find some objects around your house or your classroom that are circular. And you're going to trace those circular objects so that you have some tracing points of keeping your dot centered. Once you're done tracing, then you can start with your design. So this is your chance to make a mark and start with a dot in the middle and see where that dot takes you. You can do different types of patterns, you can do different types of lines, and you could do different types of shapes. Try to explore all of those different options in each circle that you've created. So right here I'm starting with some lines and some circles, and then I like to actually turn my plate while I draw because my drawing hand doesn't even have to move. It can just make the same shape, turn, make the same shape, turn, make the same shape, turn, and it makes it really easy for me to make the same shape all the way around my circle. You can even repeat a shape or a line, and that can create movement and rhythm in your artwork. So it's always nice to explore different types of options like that. You can explore different types of lines and shape where you make some round and organic, and then you can make some pointy and straight and geometric, like these triangles I'm adding around the edges. You can even explore different line widths. You can make some of your lines thin, some of them thicker by going over the same line a couple times. I've decided I'm going to add a whole nother circle around the edges because I want to make it a little bit bigger. And once I am done creating all of these repeating lines and patterns, I'm going to grab my crayon, and again, you can use any color crayon you choose, but you want to stick with the same crayon so that it's a nice monochromatic circle. Monochromatic means you're using one color and just changing the value. To change value, you're going to push down really hard like I did in the center, as hard as I could, and then to make it lighter, you're going to barely touch the paper, and that's how you make lighter values and darker values. Then explore some of the medium tone values, pushing down just medium. See how many values of your color you can create on your circle and your dot art. It's pretty amazing what you can do with just one marker and one crayon, and the designs you can come up with. If you finish one of these, you can always go back and make a whole nother one with a whole different type of patterns and lines, or using a different color. And then you can also inspire people in your life, friends, family, have people join with you and make dots at the same time, or give them your dot and see if they can make their own dot. Or maybe you can even trade dots. That'd be super fun. You can turn your dot into a wall hanging. You can turn your dot into a ornament if you'd like. You could also turn your dot into a picture. And once you're done coloring, what you're going to do is grab your scissors and you're going to be cutting out around the whole dot. So if you choose to do paper, then you will cut around your circle, try to stay as circular as possible. And then if you chose the plate, you can also cut around the plate to cut that shape out as well. Notice my daughter is doing hers to the right of me. And it's totally okay if your dot gets a little wonky and it's not perfectly circular anymore. I think personally it looks cool like that because it's got its own character. And that's what Dot Day is all about, making your own mark. And your art is your art. No one else can create it or replicate it because you created it. So be proud of what you create and be happy with what you create. And if you ever do feel like you're not as happy with your art, then do it again and make it so that you are happy with it. Every artist has to start somewhere, and sometimes it takes a few times to get it the way you want it to look, as long as it's the way you want it to look in the end. Don't forget to add your name and your signature, making your mark so that other people know who made it. Again, just cutting it out, and there you go. You've created your dot. Just coloring the edges here, making sure whole thing is colored. You can even create the same dot on the back or a totally different dot on the back if you want it to be two-sided to hang it somewhere. And then here I'm just going to show you really quick how I would do the same exact type thing on my paper plate, where I'm just making a design using different types of lines around the circle and repeating things and making shapes, making lines. Here's my finished dot pictures, and I also added my son, he's 2 years old, his dot picture, and my daughter, who is 4 years old, dot picture, and my great friend, Miss Papandora's. Her students made these with writing what inspires them in the middle of their dots. So there are so many options to explore. Enjoy exploring Dot Day, making your mark. All you have to do is start.